So today is a long run. I selected a workout here actually for 13 miles for half a marathon. This is supposed to take 2:22 at his speed. I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm gonna do this workout, but if I would be able to catch up with him, it's an advanced workout. I'm supposed to run the most today 10, according to my pepper, and according to Nike, I'm supposed to run 6 miles. So it's a long run. I will see how anyway, it's 2 hours and 22 minutes. That's how long it is. Let's start. I want to record a run. It's this phone in my pocket. Because I may want to record when I'm gonna run a marathon. I thought of bringing with me a phone to record or something. I don't know exactly the angle of it, how it's. Anyways, and warm up, select long. Oh, exciting.
Your iFIT trainer, and that excitement behind me is the start line for the Kilimanjaro half marathon. The intensity, the security holding folks back, that's what's going on in your stomach before a race. The butterflies that you're feeling when you're standing on race days. We're about to jump in there. Let's get ready to race. And they're off. We're going to let some of the faster footed folks stream out behind us, and then we're going to get in the race for ourselves. So make sure your shoes are double knotted, and then we're going to jump in for the Kilimanjaro half marathon. Let's get it started. This is awesome. I feel the excitement here.
Okay. 4.8 flat.
If you remember some of our Swahili lessons that we had in our foundation was running series. Remember pole. We're going to start slowly by slowly. We're going to start gradually here. We got a long road ahead of us. So we want to get started with a good warm-up. Right now we're encouraging that good cardiovascular activity. Bringing that awesome mountain air into the lungs. Body's waking up. Early morning here in Arusha, Tanzania. It's going to cook up a little bit later on in the morning, but for now, right under 70 degrees, a balmy start to the Kilimanjaro half. 13.1 miles on the docket for today. That's going to be our workout. No need to rush to jump right into it, and I like to start with about a half bottle of water in my hand. Sometimes your nerves can get you when you're starting a race, so I like to do a couple subtle things that are going to keep my excitement in check. I like to start with a bottle of water in my hand if I'm doing a longer race like a marathon, because the awkwardness of it kind of keeps me preoccupied with something that's right here in my hands instead of bumping into folks or taking the pace out too quick. So obviously it's also great to just keep me hydrated, and then I can just sip water from time to time. So I'm channeling my nervous energy a prompt for hydration. I'm getting good hydration early in the race. Hydrating on race day is like voting on election day. You want to do it early and often. So, hydrating, I like to have this bottle of water after sipping. Now, this is an incredibly well-produced race. There's going to be water stations all along the course. There's electrolytic energy drinks along the course. We're going to take those later, but because this is going to be some of the most intense running, the intensity of the start, the crowding that goes on at a big race like this, I don't want to really stress or find myself preoccupied with navigating a huge crowd and then trying to find a water station. So, BYOB, I brought my own bottle for the start of the race. I'll sip it for another mile or so, and then I'll get ready. Get locked in.
Flat. Still 4.8 speed.
It's amazing here. We've been here in Tanzania. It's amazing to get that first glimpse of Kilimanjaro. We're not going to the peak, but a lot of times folks saying
5.3 speed.
Here's the climbing Kilimanjaro is starting in the tropics and ending up in Antarctica. We're really only a couple hundred miles from the equator here. We're in the northern border of Tanzania. If you remember
5.3
Foundations
speed.
of Running Journey the other in Kenya, we're just on the other side of the border and had views of Kilimanjaro, the Kenya side. Now we're squarely in Tanzania and getting our first glimpse of that majestic peak. As the sun's hitting it, there's some fresh snows up on the mountain from some thunderstorms earlier in the week down here in the lowlands. So Kilimanjaro is definitely showing off this morning. Perfect setting to crack off this half marathon. Start panicking at all after the race. Kilimanjaro is full effect stuff. You just want to have a positive, stress-free experience. But a lot of times, that means finding your own space, taking your own space. There's going to be a lot of folks in a race who maybe have overestimated their abilities and they've gone out too fast. We're passing people who are locked in, folks who are already seeing some labored breathing. So that's great. The great thing about race day, everybody's on their own journey. That's awesome. We're on our own journey, so we need to have our own little protective bubble around us so we can settle into the zone we feel good about. Something that's sustainable. We don't want to get caught up trying to keep up with runners who might be a little faster.
flat.
want to expend too much energy. You don't want to waste energy with a long
Same
road
speed,
ahead.
5.3.
You don't want to waste too much energy ducking and dodging and moving around people. You don't want to stress it, but you just want to take that quiet confidence a lot of times that we talk about and make sure that you find a space instead of worrying about the people. You look over my shoulder and find a little space for yourself. So let's find a little pocket that you can run in for a couple minutes. Let me show you what I mean. You come up and find this spot. Check this out. See how the race was opened up first, and now all of a sudden we have our little bubble right here. There's still someone walking, but we go around with quiet confidence. You don't need to surge past. You don't need to have sharp elbows out here. We're just finding our little pockets. We don't really worry about the people. We're looking for pockets. We're not stressing the people. We're looking for pockets. DJ!
5.6 speed, 5.6.
Now, this course is simple, but it's not easy. I know that sounds like some of those foundational running workouts that we've done. you know when Knox Robinson says something is simple, that means it's not easy. This race isn't exactly a hairpin out the back, but we're going to go uphill, turn a couple corners, and then come back into town. What that means is a handful of things. It's not super technical. We're not going to get lost. We're going to follow the race course that's marked out. We're not going to have to spend a lot of energy navigating turns. I gave you the good news up front. The less than good news is that we got a few miles running uphill straight. Been scouting this course all week, and first time I went out on some of these roads, my legs were feeling it because these aren't just kind of the little rolling hills that I'm used to training on. These are, this is one big one. So when I talked about finding those pockets, already we're 10 minutes into the race, settled into a nice steady effort. You see these pockets emerging, and the race is already starting to thin out, right? So yeah, a few minutes ago we were ducking and dodging some people, but even at this zone right here, we're starting to find our pace, we're finding our rhythm, and these are folks who, maybe a couple folks in the race have Juma Konda's words in their ears already. The will to win, nothing without the will to prepare. You can already tell these are the folks who take the Juma Konda's idea, pushed it forward. You can already kind of tell this is the fitness where the folks have prepared for this race. Half marathon is great because you can walk it out, you can make it, and also for kind of all race you can run really fast if you want to. But we're gonna enjoy this experience. We're gonna jog it, but now 10 minutes in, we're finding our stride, no pun intended. So, a little bit of a longer race today than our normal workouts together. We're going to break it up, but so we had a little bit of a longer warm-up. That's, say, 10 minutes of gradual, good RPE jogging. The body's waking up. And we're just getting into it. It's going well so far. We're continuing to find pockets just to settle in and get into our pace. Here's the big one right here. This is perfect for us for now. There's so many metaphors that come into play, obviously, not only in running journey, but also on the race day itself. You don't want to, when you're really getting after it, setting that hot pace, you don't want to get all lost in the thought. philosophical aspects of the enterprise, but nevertheless, we have time on our hands. We're rocking together. So we're going to walk and talk today. So we're finding our stride. And just like in life, once the race opens up a little bit, if you're aware, alert, nice and relaxed, you start to find your people. You kind of recognize the rhythm of those folks who are around you. Start seeing the same kind of competitors as the minutes unfold. There's a couple women up here that I have been looking at out of my peripheral vision. I can see that maybe there's 20 people between us, but I can kind of tell by the shoulder rock that we're running at good pace. So again, the time on the clock and the body just warming up. There's no need to stress up and speed up to catch up to someone who might be at our level. When it comes to the marathon, when it comes to half marathon, you can really observe, stay alert, stay mindful, and let the race unfold around you. When I had a breakthrough race in Berlin in the marathon several years ago, it was the strangest experience of running faster than I ever had before, feeling great, things coming together, and yet it wasn't a stress or a strain. And if anything, I was watching the whole race unfold around me and in front of me like watching a movie. 13 and a half minutes in, I'm done with my water. Give that to some folks to recycle. Great recycling effort here in Tanzania. It's a Sunday morning, you could hear the church resonating, vibrating with those early morning choirs. And we're grounding ourselves in a sense of place. When I talk about finding those pockets now, no stress, we didn't have anything to worry about, we didn't have to battle or fight for position, maybe the way some of those elite runners did at the starting line. But right here, we have our little zone where we can focus on doing our best work, and we don't really have to worry about getting lost in the sauce of someone else's race. My mom, when I was on the sidelines there growing up in high school, just starting out, my mom would say, run your own race.
Good. Yeah, I needed that.
And we're coming up on our first water station.
Oh,
Look at this. You gotta run the numbers. You gotta think there's a maximum amount of people at the early water stations because the race is at its most concentrated. We didn't need to move over to the other side of the road because we started with our own bottle. Remember, we BYOB, we brought our own water. And so now when the crowds go to the other side, clutching and grabbing for that hydration, we don't need it. We're on the other side of the road. Again, moving along at our own pace, running our own race. When I was growing up as a kid, I always wanted, you always want more for yourself, so I always wanted maybe a different kind of encouragement. My mom was always giving me stuff that resonated later in life. My mom never said,
Merry Christmas.
Be number one. Go out and run, go out and be the best. That's what you think you need to get excited when you're a teenager, but actually, my mom would just say, run your own race. And that's what we're doing today. And also,
what was that?
continue with the practice of running over the course of my life, later in life. Those ideas resonate. You're running my own race. I ran my fastest marathon. I ran my fastest half marathons when I simply went out and ran my own race. Now, of course, I was prepared. I had trained immaculately. I had trained for months. I was focused. I had a mindfulness practice in place to have me ready to unlock a performance on the day. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Good to see you. I couldn't tell. I thought you were in the youth race. I thought, like, here's the jet lag.
I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. It's coming from speakers, but I don't know how. I have nothing connected to it. I don't know. It is what it is.
Let's keep going. This is a good effort. What's great about this iFIT race series is that it comes as a culmination of a journey that we've been on together. So hopefully you were able to go through that foundation of running journey here in Tanzania. Please check that series out if you hadn't had the opportunity to uncover speed endurance and recognize that speed and endurance aren't mutually exclusive and they're not in competition with one another, but they really come together in the training journey to prepare us for races like this. So speed endurance in play. We had a great foundations of running journey in Kenya where we unlocked the speed and recognizing that speed isn't something that you go out to the corner store to pick up or order online, but speed is something that you already have inside it. You need to put the pieces together to unlock it. So the foundations of running journey in Kenya unlocked that speed, and then we kicked off this foundations of running concept in the incredible, unforgettable country of South Africa.
Musk has done really well and successful projects, including quantum technology. But again, for the board, the fact that this was a genuine legal financing arrangement and that there are a lot of backroom talks going on right now.
Play here at the Kilimanjaro half marathon as we stride out of the mountain town of Moshi in full stride with views of Mount Kilimanjaro emerging in the early morning light ahead of us. It's really take the words right out of your mouth. We got a little bit of an incline going as we approach the mountain, so the incline will also take the words right out of your mouth. But we're moving along with that quiet confidence. It's going well. This is a good pace. We've done the preparation, and we have a great vibe going, you know, as you train on this iFIT platform. Well, we already know we're going to have a great experience today. So what else are we going to do with it? DJ! You're doing a great job right now. Let's keep this going. We're 20 minutes on the clock. Still a little bit of bobbing and weaving going on here, but this is great job. So all of our workouts at iFIT are based on RPE, rate of perceived effort. And on race day, here at the Kilimanjaro Half Marathon, it's no different. So we've warmed up, the crowds and the excitement of the start really contributed to that early pace as we started to get going. That was a good warm-up. And now we're settled in to that flow. You don't want to necessarily play it too safe. When you use your iFIT trainer, sometimes I gotta be honest with you, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. When it comes to race day, you don't necessarily want to start too casually, too relaxed. You know, everyone wants to tell you, start relaxing and speed up at the end. Remember, I tell you on some journeys, my dad called it saving something for the fans in the stands. You gotta have something for the fans in the stands. but also you got to go into the race with some intent and some intensity. So, okay. Let's just find some pockets. Stay dry, we're going under the water. They have these misters along the course, dripping water on folks to keep the body cool. It's not hot out here just yet, so it's a little extraneous, but it is refreshing. Okay! Right now we have this good pocket. And as I was saying, RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. Now, we could just make it on through and shuffle our way through this race. That's an awesome experience here out in Tanzania, being able to see the local culture, running culture, everybody united in celebration for the journey on the day. But we're actually pursuing this with a little bit of intensity because it's coming at the end as a capstone to our Foundations of Running journey in Tanzania. So for today, we're actually flowing along at our RPE 6 zone, and it's going so well. When we've had some of those journeys peak, our Foundations of Running journey in Kenya, our Foundations of Running journey here in Tanzania, we talked about that pace that feels like it can go on forever. The RPE 6 zone, that's what we're in right now. So as you can kind of see, we're already going through and really in that good zone. ROR best practices are in place. Our shoulders are squaring back, our arms are swinging in a rhythmic fashion to the side of our body. Elbows crooked at 90 degrees. And we got that good knee lift. That's us giving that crucial mid-foot strike. It's really essential for doing it here because staying relaxed.
Ormai de l'argent avec Rémi, sur Marrakech, Orange Money, et bien.
This race starts off uphill. And when I say uphill, it's a pretty real hill. We're already 25 minutes in to the beginning of the race, and the hill has not let up at all. We started off on a little bit of a flat, but in the first few strides of this race, we already found ourselves on this incline, and it hasn't stopped. Yeah, so you're on the machine and you're feeling it. Don't be mad at me, just send a little email to the race director.
It's very distracting.
Okay, DJ.
Ain't it funny how time
What the fuck is happening to me?
steals a feeling from a love affair? There's no place to play the blame, 'cause it ain't a case of no one cares. Helplessly, we just watch it fade away. Neither will that the night.
Please close it. I'm going crazy here. How? Okay, mystery solved. I'm going crazy here. Thank you. Mystery solved.
RPE 6. Moving along. And when I said focus on pockets, not people, you can see more and more what happening. There's one right up there. It's okay to put in a little effort. Why don't you go and find that pocket up there? I'm going to follow ahead with you right there. Don't change too much. You don't have to sprint all ahead. But they're off to our right, 1 o'clock. Why don't you put in a little stride, take it up just a little bit, and take us over there so we don't get locked in. Yep, I'm right with you. You don't need to sprint all ahead too wild, but here we are. And we found another pocket. Good job. Teamwork. "28 minutes in, and this is exactly what I was talking about 10, 12, 13 minutes ago. When I said you can kind of look up the road and start finding your people, that there are folks that may be a little ahead of you, but you recognize them as running your same pace. Just like in life, you might meet somebody who is a little ahead of you down the road, but you still feel some sort of kinship, some sort of companionship. The same thing happens in the race. You can look out ahead and start to sense someone who is doing what you're doing, someone who's running along at your pace. Now, 15 minutes later, it didn't change anything, but the race evened out, brought us closer together, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. I saw this woman right here with this pink cap. She's pouring water on her head, she stayed hydrated, she has the experience, right? Let's just look at that. She started with her own bottle of water, the way that we started with our own bottle of water. She moved along with her pace. She's staying hydrated. She's not worried about the distance on the race course. She's staying cool with her own water. And here we are, coming up on 30 minutes into the race, and we're running stride by stride with this woman that we first saw on the path 15 minutes ago. So just knowing that the race would gradually just bring those paces closer together, there's no need to stress, no need to strain. The race is gonna unfold in front of us. It's almost, sometimes when you're really in the zone, a race can unfold like a movie. And we're in it. We may even be the star of the story, but the experience of that race is watching it happen like this. It's awesome that she's got earphones in. She's listening to her power playlist. I wonder what's on it. But it's great because now I can kind of narrate the experience of running at this woman's pace or running our pace together. She's not going to be distracted because she's running her own race. So we're just going to call her Pink Hat. I saw the pink cap in the distance 15 minutes ago, and now we're 30 minutes into Kilimanjaro half marathon.
Didn't believe how dehydrated most people are. Number two, you need to make a decision to take matter.
And just like that, we're cruising around, we found another pocket. And what we're seeing is this RPE 6 zone has really got us flowing. We left a little bit of that city energy behind there in Moshi where the race started, all the intensity of the starting line area. And now the loudest thing on the course is just the cicadas in the woods running along the roadside. And the occasional
Hello, my name is Tim Caviezel, the actor
each
who...
other and saluting each other on the day. Finding pockets. There we go. Kind of want to find a pocket here and there too, just so you have a monument with Mount Kilimanjaro as it pops out between the trees. It's also cool when you get to angles like this. The cool thing about a long stretch of an uphill or a downhill is that you're able to see the whole race spill out ahead of you, and it's a reminder that you're just one tear in a salty sea. You're just one drop of flotsam or jetsam out here in the universe. You're just one runner in the Mount Kilimanjaro half marathon amongst thousands, and it's humbling. It's also centering because this is one of those rare experiences that you can have where you have all these people united in the same purpose. Maybe people have different motivations, maybe people have different strides, people have different footwear. Not everybody has the great bandana. Let's stay away from the water. Watch this. Look at all that water down there. Still a bit of a log jam. We'll stay out of it for now. We'll go to the next one.
Water station.
Great job.
Everything okay with the sound?
Now, yeah, baby.
My phone is playing it.
One of my favorite parts about racing, whether I'm here
We
at the Mount
always look
Kilimanjaro
out there.
half, right, whether I'm here at the Mount Kilimanjaro half, or I'm running a big city race in New York City or Berlin,
5-6. The speed is the same. 5-6.
and hey, we're coming up on
I'm
the
running
5
on
kilometer
flat.
mark. They're spraying up on the ground, and this is where markers. We're going off time. We're not going on miles or kilometers. We're running on time. We have another 34 minutes in. Great pace here at RPE6, and we're going to keep this going. You're doing great. We'll continue to unlock some of these half marathon practices over the course of the race, but right now, we've successfully navigated that start. We channel that excitement, and now we're focused on our own race. We're finding pockets just to keep us safe and secure and focused on our own race. Good job. The cool thing about working out with minutes rather than miles is, as you see, that's kind of how our workouts have been set up at iFIT together. It's not about the distance and how far you go. It can be for you personally, but for us to kind of connect, it's great just to connect for that time that you stepped out and set aside and dedicated in pursuit of your running goals or your pursuit of personal excellence. So too with the race. You get to the point in your training where you're thinking about how long you're going to be out there, and your training begins to revolve around the duration of the exercise. You think about how long you're going to be out there for the race, and then you detail around that. The body doesn't really know this mile or that. The body doesn't know miles versus kilometers. How could the body doesn't know the difference between miles and kilometers, right? The body doesn't really know if it's speaking French or Spanish or Japanese or Polish or Swahili or Zulu. So we're really just focused on the clock, the time experience. It's going well. Let's keep it going. So much more to unlock for the rest of this race, but we're gonna get it going now with just this quiet confidence running down the road here at the Mount Kilimanjaro. It's kind of wild when I say that you focus on minutes and not miles, especially approaching a breakthrough. I trained with a woman in Brooklyn. We were getting ready for the Berlin Marathon. Both of us having breakthrough performances on the day, both of us in the shape of our lives. Good training partners. And the week, Jumbo. Yeah. So, in the week before the race, she switched her GPS watch over to the kilometer setting instead of the mile setting. And in the week leading up to the race, she switched her phone and her day-to-day watch and her phone settings over to the international 24-hour clock format, the military time, if you would. She wanted to get off the plane in Berlin and already be in a Berlin state of mind. I'm a little bit more of a New Yorker than that, so I was staying in a New York state of mind. But it was interesting that she would switch over, and have all her digital devices already synced with what was going on in Berlin, not only in the days leading up to the race, when she got off the plane, but on race day, her notifications that clicked off were based on kilometers, and then she could calibrate that performance based on the markers on the roadside that would be there in the metric system. You're doing great. Stay flowing along. Flowing along at RPE 6 here for this race day experience. We have these moments where it's just you, me, and Kilimanjaro. This race is incredible. This experience, this race day experience is unforgettable. And even though we're not going all the way up to the 19,000 feet above sea level at the top of Kilimanjaro, you can't really feel the temperature change with the elevation. I guess the cool thing about this race, no pun intended, is that even though the temperature on race day is going to increase as the day goes on, we're getting a little bit of elevation gain from this unending uphill that we're powering through. So whereas we're 41 minutes into the race, you might expect the mercury to already have ticked up several degrees down there in town at the race start. Now it's actually blessedly cool up here a little bit higher, just 40 minutes outside of town. So there's a refreshing breeze. It feels like it's almost kind of coming right off the glacial temps at the peak of Kilimanjaro, and it's keeping us fresh. If you see a view that I'm missing, tap me on the shoulder because I don't want to miss a single one. I had that experience when I was having this breakthrough race. I'm glad we have this time to talk about it because I haven't been able to always unpack it since I had this race. Sometimes we say these races are personal, they really are. And you go home and you're back to your family and you're just going right back into it. Let's find these bubbles, find these pockets. Great job. Here's a good one right here. It's a little bit of like a pinball machine. This is what I mean. Let's find this one, this one, this one. Sometimes, once you're good at finding the bubbles, the pockets, you start seeing 2 or 3 of them, and we don't run too much extra, but we just wait until the pockets connect. We wait for an opportunity to move from one to the other without expending too much excess energy. Here's a great little pocket up here. We're just gonna move to it on our own. Well, it's interesting wanting to soak in every possible view, every possible opportunity of Kilimanjaro. When I was having this breakthrough race in Berlin a couple years back, not only was I, again, running faster and stronger for longer, but not only was I running faster than I ever previously imagined, but I was out there doing it with an ease and a quiet confidence, watching it all unroll in front of me, again, like a movie. I wish I had a better description, but maybe that's the best one. It was like watching a movie, watching the story I was a character, but it was just happening. I was just in the experience rather than making it happen on my own. In the same sense, I was in the race and I wanted to hold on to every moment. Sometimes you're in a tough race or having a breakthrough race and you're like, I can't wait for this to end. But in that race there in Berlin, I was holding on to every moment because I wanted to remember it. And that's what it's like running under the auspices, under the aegis of Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak and the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Every time you look at it, you just want to absorb the memory into your brain and take it with you. So this is definitely one of those peak experiences, no pun intended, where you don't want to remember it all.
-2.
And I'm definitely going to remember this little downhill. We've worked so hard for the first 45 minutes of the race, and only now are we blessed with a little bit of a descent. So the downhill's an opportunity for us just to shake off any of that tension that might have accumulated in the upper body, shake out those legs. And you can see this is what I meant when I said the course was simple but not easy. Had a little bit of that intensity, had a steady focused climb to begin, and now it's making a couple turns, and it's just not simple. Turn, turn, and then open up that stride, and we're going to come back into town. But more about that later. We're going to stay in this moment. And although it's early going here, as we move into minute 45, fans in the stands. Gotta give them something for the fans in the stands. So the other great thing about racing in Africa, and I've raced all over the world, but when I first started going to races in Africa, I didn't really know about these pace groups that spend the whole race together, united in a song and a chant. The most epic race of that nature is the Comrades Marathon. It's actually the oldest ultra marathon in the world. It's held every June in Durban, South Africa. If you remember our foundations of running Journey in South Africa, we finished right there in the stadium in one of our workouts. Finished the journey right there. Told you a bunch of stories. Check out that journey if you haven't already. But they have these massive pace groups. In the Comrades Marathon, they have these massive pace groups. They're called buses. And they're led by bus drivers, bus captains. They just go along with the sound. I hear one behind us. We'll see if it catches up to us. Remember on some of our workouts I say that you don't run with your legs, you run with, well, this sign says, when your legs are tired, run with your heart. We know we run with our arms. Here's a little medical tent.
3.1.
Let's get some water. Now there's water stations on two sides. Okay, take your time, don't rush it. It's okay to take time out in a race to make sure that you're getting the hydration you need. You don't want the water to splash all over and then you don't get anything, so. Let's keep going.
Oh, I needed
You feeling
it
like
to-
you're hot? You go through the water, I'll stay dry. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You ready? Let's keep going. It's too early for bananas, but
5.6.
there's banana chops there. So we've been training together for a while, you know. I love the stories, I love the random data, I love the stats that come out. I love the stats that come out after a race about how many gallons of water were consumed, how many cups were used. It's great in this era. We're starting to think about, do kind of like an inventory of all of our race day practices, and race directors are like, how can we do a more sustainable race, not only on a running level, but on an environmental level? How can we have a race that doesn't generate so much waste? So it's great that a lot of races, I'm sure this one included, are also recycling at the end of the race. They're also reusing, and they're thinking for the future, how can we use materials for hydration that aren't gonna clog up in a landfill. So it's awesome. Here's a little surprising downhill bit on some dirt road. But again, we've trained on this, we've prepared, so we're just flowing down this little downhill with a little bit of quite confidence of how my upper body's nice to relax. I'm able to navigate any kind of terrain because we have confidence in that pace. I said, ain't nothing changed but the range. We can flow with RPE 6 over any terrain, over any topography, over any elevation, because we've put in the work to really understand and have that awareness on a body level. So we're just able to navigate this awesome
Staying flat.
here at the Kilimanjaro half. Without any stress or strain. You suddenly turn onto a dirt road, the surface is a little touch and go. But I like this kind of experience in a race too. Need a banana? Just kidding. Let's wait. I like this kind of experience too, because this kind of thing is gonna keep you awake. You don't want to get so lulled into the rhythm of the running that your brain goes to sleep. Another story, I gotta be honest with you. I wasn't always like this. For a lot of times, even though I've been on a running journey for most of my life, watching my dad run as a kid and then picking it up as a youth for myself. Took a little break in my 20s for a little necessary walk in the wilderness, a little bad behavior, but came back to the practice after that. I wasn't always like this. I was like a lot of regular runners, chipping away at workouts or what I thought were workouts, finding workout plans and just throwing myself into them without thinking about what they meant for me and how to personalize it for the running I was doing. I wasn't really doing
5.5.
the adequate preparations for the goals that I had. And, you know, that's fine. A lot of folks' experiences are like that, but a couple things came together that unlocked a lifetime of running for me and helped me start putting together the pieces that landed me here as your trainer on iFIT. So find a pocket. We'll find a pocket because you can already see a little bit of race day carnage. Bunch of folks walking here. Great job. Maybe this softer road surface is a little bit of a deterrent to folks, but we're still flowing along with our Hakuna Matata pace, our RPE 6. And it's going well. So I was going about it like everyone else, or like most other folks was, throwing myself around,
5.6.
thinking I was doing a long run, or maybe it wasn't really long enough for my my goals, my peaks that I had there in my imagination. Good job. Let's keep going. So, when I was running, and I read about elite performances, you always can learn from someone in the back of the pack, and someone in the front of the pack has something to teach. Early on, I was really focused on those learnings from elite athletes. And my understanding was that in the marathon, if elite athletes were running 26 miles, 26.2 miles, in just over 2 hours, maybe some of the fastest athletes in the world running 2 hours, 5 minutes for the marathon. Fastest athletes in the world covering the half marathon distance in under 1 hour. I think the world record at the time might have been 58 minutes, thereabouts. So I thought that running a distance effort was about turning your brain off until that final moment there at the end of the race where you turn on the gas, you start cooking with gas, and you bring it out for the fans in the stands, and you finish. So the marathon is 26 miles. My understanding of it as an armchair analyst, as a marauder on a message board, I thought that it was about keeping your brain off for 20 miles, and then all of a sudden whirring along in race mode. I thought that maybe for the half marathon, you might run along for 10 miles and then race the final 5 kilometers in race mode in your brain. And then I read a study, and this is one of the things, actually, now that I think about it, changed my life, is that they did a study of elite athletes, and apparently elite athletes show a high degree of mental awareness over the course of the effort. It's not that they turn their brains off, it's that they're actually really plugged in. It's that these athletes are running times that are going to boggle our minds, but rather than being asleep at the wheel, so to speak, they're actually really keyed into the moment. They're really grounded in the moment. And reading that study made me think I've been doing it not wrong, but I had maybe formed an incorrect conclusion. It's not so much that we just have to put our head down and run this race like this the whole way looking at the ground, is that we're supposed to be looking up occasionally, finding those inspiring views of Kilimanjaro. We're supposed to be alert when the road surface changes and we're running over some dirt, where before we were on pavement. It's good that we like this undulating terrain because it's keeping us awake, it's keeping us aware. Like I said, on race day, we do things a little bit differently. Check out this awesome bridge we're crossing. This is so cool. That's awareness. It's not actually, maybe it sounds like distraction or it looks like distraction, but actually being open and noting all the awesome and amazing things that are happening on race day is actually a sign that we're fully grounded in a sense of place. We're fully confident that Hakuna Matata rules are in full effect, and we have the preparations done to move with quiet confidence at RPE 6. Let's go. Great job. Good incline. Let's keep those arms moving, because even though we have this incline, our metronome is still ticking. It's the arms are moving at the side of the body that's getting us up this hill. Breathing is still relaxed. It's not anything that you got to get all tense about. When you get tense in your upper body, you're constricting the breathing cage. Actually, you want to have that body nice and relaxed on a climb. That's going to help your arms swing even more. Get that oxygen in. And just stay alert and aware. So let's stay alert and aware as we continue to move along and run our own race. So in that long-winded anecdote, I realized this is one of the things that changed my own running journey. It's not that we run away from the discomfort or disassociate with the comfort. It's actually that the whole craft of running, yes, it's about running harder and stronger for longer, but on a mental level, it's about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. The whole preparation. Jumi Kanga says, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare. He's not just talking about workouts. He couldn't possibly just win the New York City Marathon just because he had better workouts. It's about the mental preparation. We're talking about the will to prepare. It's the full portfolio of preparations that we make. Here's a good pocket. Let's go. And again, that's the kind of unlock that I stumbled into. That's the kind of learning that I came by more or less honestly, that I'd like to share right here on the iFIT platform. It's that we can prepare for these races, we can prepare for these hills, we can prepare for our footing to be uneasy. It's just like, again, life, another metaphor for life. You can get surprised by life. That's gonna happen. The road's there. Yeah, the road's gonna be rocky. But that's also temporary. We're back on the pavement. And there may be uphills, but just like that, we turn the corner, we're in a nice downhill. Yeah, this is great. Got a nice little pocket here. And again, just on our training journeys, how we noticed, we're aware all the elements. Let's just notice how RPE 6 feels now that we're back on pavement. We've got a downhill. The sun's a little higher in the sky on my side, so it's a little bit warming out here as we head back into town for the finish. But now we just see, after the intensity of those climbs, those undulations, those highs and those lows, how does this feel? How does this RPE cruise feel for another 3 minutes? Good job. And we're going to keep this going at this RPE 6 pace. As you can kind of see, the race is opened up, we're finding our pockets. But here, as we're heading back into town. Plenty of running still to go, but coming up on maybe a halfway. I'm starting to see the same kind of runners, the same runners over and over again. It's good to know we found our people who just cruising along. We're running our own race, but we're kind of leveled out on that pace we were looking for. And it's going well. So let's just hold right here. Don't need to change anything. You can see there's a little bit of excitement on the race course. Folks are thankful for this downhill, so maybe those folks who are walking on those uphills are getting that second wind, and they're letting their momentum carry them back down. That's cool to see. Hey! Let's keep this going. Don't forget to take a selfie. Hey, hello guys. Have a great race. Looking good. Yeah. And again, when you're running your own race, you don't necessarily want to get lost in the sauce with others. A bunch of folks are passing us right now with this downhill, but you don't need to jump into those slipstreams because we're doing our own thing. We know that we have the preparations in place for this RPE 6 to take care of us over the finish line. A lot of folks look like got fresh legs right now. But there's still a lot of running to do in this race. We're not even halfway yet, so definitely not time to get excited. We're just gonna keep sticking with this pace that we've already established and keep going. It's going well. We don't need to change anything. We're just maintaining and keeping it right here. Now is always a good opportunity. We've had a little, without too much distraction around us. Let's just check in and do a quick body scan, a little body check. See where we're at. Breathing is regular. We're able to, breathing is relaxed and rhythmic. We're not hyperventilating. Our shoulders are squaring back. Arms are swinging in rhythmic fashion at the side of the body. And our arms are crooked at a 90-degree angle. We've been running for some time now, but we still have that good knee lift and we still have that midfoot strike that we're really looking. So that's just another example of running economy, running efficiency, running efficacy that really unlocks that RPE 6 pace that we're looking for. It's these sort of mid-race body scans, checks that are letting us know that our preparations and our best practices are still intact. So shoulders squaring back, arms are swinging, and we're moving down the road with ease and quiet confidence. Great job so far. Let's keep going. This is RPE 6 here, and this is the Kilimanjaro half marathon in the incredible, beautiful country of Tanzania. There should be another water station coming up here on our left, so just the way we've done when training together, we're training partners, right? I'm gonna have you take the lead through the water station. I'll follow along, but I want you to see how you navigate it for yourself. Again, don't knock anybody down. Oh, don't push anybody out of the way, but when you come up on the water, You want to make eye contact with the person who's handing you the water so you know that they have your water. I learned that early on as a kid. When you're coming through, you look at the person who's handing you the water so that they know that you're their person. Go through, grab that water, keep it moving. You don't want to stop and stand there because obviously there's thousands of people behind you. I was telling you about the experience of a pace group in South Africa called the Plus. There's something similar coming up right now. We're going to jump in with them for the experience. Ready? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Get right in there, get right in there. You go in with them. You can stay in there for a little bit. Great job. You didn't get lost in the sauce. You're able to hydrate. That was awesome.
5.6 flat.
The other thing that's a little tricky is sometimes after thousands of people have gone through a water station, the whole road surface is just slicked. And maybe it's combined with a little bit of the road oil or the grease. So the road can be a little slippery, or your shoes can be a little slippery. So when you go through that aid station, you want to scrape your feet a little bit, get some of that slick off. Yeah. Okay, Jumbo. Great job. And even in a race, even a water station is something that you pursue mindfully now.
-2.
Running in a water station would be such a great break in the action. That it's cool just to feel that water circulate through your body, make its way down your throat and into your stomach. Feel that relaxation of the water making its way through your system and refreshing you, giving you that little extra burst of life as we kind of continue. That's going well so far. Let's keep this going. We're going to keep this going. Let's keep this going. RPE 6. This is a good little zone right now. And again, this is so good for the legs, getting this little gentle slope downhill. A real refreshing from that rough and tumble up and down that we were surfing through just way back. Even that seems like a distant memory now that the roads opened up again and smoothed out. And we're able just to keep flowing along with the sound of our
5.7 -2.
RPE 6. Arms nice and relaxed. Good job. This is our V6. This is that Hakuna Matata thing. This is what we're looking for when we've trained for that zone. We did some running that was much slower than this, and we did a little bit of running that was faster, but a lot of it was really about cultivating this zone right here, this unlock of what it means to run faster and stronger for longer. You wouldn't think that you'd be able to do it like this, but it's happened. Let's hold this for another 90 seconds. Soaking it all in and remembering all these moments. Right here in the Kilimanjaro half. It's an incredible experience that Africa's tallest peak is watching over us this entire race, and then the race itself has this incredible tapestry of people and culture and beautiful community. Don't need to change anything. We're just gonna keep this pace going. For this workout, you've done great navigating that changing terrain. On mine in the road circles was a little rough, but we kept going at that RPE 6. We didn't need to stress or strain. We didn't need to start walking. We just kept on flowing, and that's great. You're also doing very well in your studies of proper hydration during the race, so congratulations again for going through that water station in that way. This is great. Oh, here's the marathons, right? This is super exciting. The Kilimanjaro Marathon is also running at this same time, and we're about to be passed by the leaders right over my left shoulder. Watch this. Poetry in motion. This guy's in first place. Look at that stride. He's moving. And he is well and away ahead. There's a massive gap, and there's no second place in sight. This guy is rolling back into the town of Moshi. It's a little early in the marathon, and the marathon is an athletic exercise in Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Not in a negative way, but it's just a way of saying you never really know what's going to happen. That guy has a huge lead, but he's not across the finish line yet. So he's still got to maintain his Hakuna Matata all the way to, he's still got to maintain it all the way to the finish line. And that was kind of sensational to see that guy really using that downhill. I mean, the guy's stride was like, it was like this. He looked like Neil Armstrong out there. I mean, like, not Neil Armstrong, he's moving a lot faster than Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, but that guy's stride was like 20 feet long. It's like Michael Jordan out here, like, should we try to do that ourselves? Should we try to have that marathon stride in 3, 2, just kidding. We're gonna keep flowing along at this RPE 6 because it's working well for us. We don't need to change a thing. We're just moving along with the other focus found our people. This is our zone. Again, it's a great chance to do a check. Our breathing is controlled and relaxed. Our eyes are open, focused straight ahead. I know that sounds like an obvious thing, but a lot of times you'll see folks in this room. That's number 2. These guys are flying. Second place is definitely not relinquishing eyes on first. He doesn't have that other guy in view, but the thing about the marathon is you never know what's going to happen. You got to keep your eyes up because you never know what's going to happen with the person ahead of you, and also the person behind you. You could ease up, and you might miss an opportunity to reach out and snatch the victory cup, or you could ease up and get pipped by someone who's a little more prepared than you were on the day coming from behind. So definitely stay focused. See, I gotta say this, on a technical level, I don't envy third place. Moving, hitting over these speed bumps and still going. I gotta say, it's not enviable necessarily for these runners, these marathoners in the last few kilometers of this race, barreling down this hill. They've got to navigate all of us slower runners in the half marathon. So that's kind of like the worst case scenario for the guys who are running the fastest. They've got to pass thousands of people. So instead of really leading the pack of their own race and crossing the finish line, focus on one other competitor or by themselves, or some of these late in the race leaders are, these guys are coming down the hill and got to pass thousands of folks who are running along that RPE 6. So definitely shout out to the winners of the marathon. They're running well, and they definitely don't have an easy job. And as our breathing is nice and relaxed and our arms, man, this is a great opportunity for a quick body check. Our eyes pointed straight ahead here. And again, a lot of times you think that sounds like, come on, Knox, of course our eyes are going to be pointed straight ahead. But from time to time, if you look around in the race, you will see people who are focused with their faces down at the ground. First of all, they're missing the incredible views of Kilimanjaro, but
One more
second of
hour
all,
to
you
go.
really want to keep your eyes pointed straight ahead, because that's going to keep a good head elevation, shoulders squaring back, nice and relaxed. Not only because that's opening up the breathing cage, but it's just giving us that upper body flexibility, that upper body swing. It's keeping our arms ticking in a rhythmic action at the side of our body, our own personal metronome. Of course, our shoulders are squaring back and our elbows are crooked at a 90-degree angle, keeping our hands nice and loose. Now, let's shake that all out. Let's keep the hands nice and relaxed. You know, I always like to say, you don't run with your legs, you run with your arms.
At 5.7
So we'll let that upper body nice and relaxed.
for a while.
That breathing cage is open. We're bringing in that rich Kilimanjaro air that's bringing that oxygen circulating through our body. It's such a revitalizing, galvanizing force. And then we're getting that good knee lift and that midfoot strike. All of it's coming together, all the best practices in play that's keeping us rolling down this road with a quiet confidence as we're moving along at RPE 6. Do remember that RPE 6, RPE stands for rate of perceived effort. But the thing about that is, the amazing thing is it's personal. So your RPE 6 is different from my RPE 6, is different from the winner of the race's RPE 6, but we're all in this race together, and it's awesome that we're just kind of flowing along. What does it mean to you? And you get to a certain point in a journey on our foundations of running journey together, we got to that point where we just had to say, what does RPE really mean to me? What does it really mean at all? And what it is, it's a feeling. It's there inside that once you've done the work to support it, once you've gone on a foundations of running journey together, let's say, and you're running faster and stronger for longer, more than a number, more than a phrase, more than an acronym, it's a feeling. And like I said, as the race kind of opens up, here we are, well into it. But look who's back. Come on. Hey, how's it going? You feeling okay? Yeah. Okay, see? It's our guy from the very beginning of the race. Still looking sharp. Still the two most stylish guys here. You know, there's some faster guys ahead and they're gonna get awards for running fast, but we are definitely getting first and second place in the fashion department for the race. We're the two most stylish guys in the Kilimanjaro half marathon. You're doing great, my guy. Let's keep going. I'll see you at the finish line, okay? Keep up. You look great. Fourth place. when you see these leaders go by, maybe we'll just try to pick up our stride. The next leader, 5th place, comes by. If you want to just take it up to RPE 10, just for 20 seconds, we'll be able to see what an elite marathoner form looks like. First, up close, we never get that experience. So it's going to be a good chance to see. You're going to see shoulders squaring back. You're going to see those arms swinging like a metronome at the side of the body, keeping that pace and that quiet confidence as they make their way to the finish line, as we all make our way towards the finish line. So let's just keep this going. Don't need to change a thing. Just really soaking up this incredible energy of this place. Kilimanjaro is over our right shoulder. The sun's getting higher. The thing about Kilimanjaro is it's warm here in the foothills because we're only a couple hundred miles from the equator. We're really in equatorial Africa, and yet we have a peak right here over our left-hand shoulder. Let's see if you can swing around and see it. Watch this. As soon as I'm talking about it, there it is. Kilimanjaro there is like snow-capped. It's glacial at the top of the mountain. Ahoo! So you can see that view. There's a lot of debate over the name of Kilimanjaro, where it comes from, if it's an early European arriver's misunderstanding of this, that word in Kiswahili, if it means snow-capped or white-capped, or I was even doing some research. There's even some evidence to suggest that it comes from a phrase, we didn't make it to the top. I didn't want to tell you that at the beginning of the race because I didn't want to cast a pall over what was really going to be an awesome race day experience, but that was the last line of someone reading I was doing that. Kilimanjaro might possibly translate to we didn't make it, but we're going to make it, so I kept that to myself until now. But the cool thing about this is, here we go, watch this, ready? 3, 2, 1. Shoulders squaring back, good knee lift. Look at that rhythm. Good job. Bring it back down in 3, 2, 1. You're showing off little RPE 8s. I know what it is. That's a good job. But it's really a chance to see firsthand the 5th place finish. I mean, this form wasn't that different than the leader's form. He's just a few minutes to the back. But that was awesome for the opportunity to get that close and see that all those things that we're talking about, that good form, all those best practices, are exactly what's in play with the fastest runners in the race. So it's really great. This is an opportunity. The woods are breaking away, and now we'll open up this stretch here. And there's Kilimanjaro in the back. The other great thing about running here in Tanzania is that we're so close to the equator. So it's warm out here. So you can turn over your shoulder and look at the glacier on top of the mountain in the distance. And then we're breaking a sweat because we're in the equator. I think the 1st place woman is coming. Oh, here's some more guys coming through. You're going to be able to see, again, these guys are running together. Watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There's that rhythm. They have the sound of our same stride. Good. And it's pretty steep downhill right now, so those leaders are really using this downhill, but it's not necessarily a walk in the park at this stage in the race for us here in the half, and for those guys barreling down this steep hill in the marathon. There's a real pounding on the body now. Their frames are slight and perhaps well trained and equipped to run with the challenges presented by a 26-mile foot race up and down these hills, but nevertheless, it's a pounding on the body. And so those two guys were locked in a mano-a-mano competition here in the final stages of their 26-mile race. Still, you wouldn't want to be in their shoes, no pun intended. They were really beating it out of each other as they were going down the hills, trying to use that downhill to create a little separation between that 5th and 6th place there. I'm having a good time. I gotta let you know when we talk about Jume Konga's idea that the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare. I've also been training on this course a couple times this week, so I know the turns, I know the uphills and the downhills. I know this is a long incline here, so let's settle in, make sure we're nice and relaxed. Let's shake out any tension that might have accumulated in the upper body. Shake out those hands, and then make our way up this hill. We prepared for this with the ups and downs. So whereas a lot of folks might need to bring it all the way down to an RPE 0 and RPE 1, we're still able to flow up at an RPE 6. Maybe lean into the incline a little bit, but we're maintaining that rhythm with our upper body. We don't run with our legs, we run with our arms, guys. So we're running with our arms. When you get tired, there's a motivational sign back there that says, when you're tired, when your legs are tired, run with your heart. You know what I'm gonna say. When your legs are tired, run with your arms. Pump your arms, we're almost to the top of this incline. Let's keep this going for another 10 seconds, come on. 10, come on. This is how you do it. 9, 8, 7, 6, lean in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the body upright. And as you keep that body upright, you can feel that oxygen come back into those lungs. You see, we didn't even have to change our rhythm. We stuck with the same rhythm. We had that confidence. And all of a sudden, there it is. We were able to maintain our pace, maintain our flow, that RPE 6 flow. Yeah. Up that mountain. Didn't have to change a thing. You're doing well so far. Let's keep this going. There it is.
I'm gonna put for
So
my
even in our zone right here, and what we're doing, we're able to kind of see how our preparations are in play. To see how our preparations are in play, we're able to stay moving steady. Jumbo. Yeah. And we're just moving along this RPE 6. You can kind of see if you started from the very beginning of this run. We started an early morning light, and there Kilimanjaro is already in full glow, right? When this tropical sun, the equatorial sun, is hitting the mountain pretty hard. It's tough to look at it there. Obviously, I'm sweating down here on the race course, but there's glaciers and fresh snow right up on Kilimanjaro. It's a little farther away than it looks. Actually, if you're trekking Kilimanjaro, they can say if you're walking it, it might take 6 days. Not because it takes that long to get up, but you want to acclimatize. Actually, I was reading the statistic, 50% of hikers, mountaineers who attempt Kilimanjaro fail. So half of the people who try to go up Kilimanjaro fail, not because it's technical, it's actually one of the world's highest peaks, but you don't need technical gear. You can hike up it. You don't need a pickaxe or crampons or ropes and the rest of that kit. You can actually walk up. The real challenge of Kilimanjaro is acclimatizing the body to high altitude, because if the peak is 19,336 feet, the air is pretty rare up there. So you need to have that time to acclimatize. You all right? You're doing a good job out here today. You really need time to acclimatize the body to the pressures or the lack thereof that occur on the body at high altitudes. So Kilimanjaro, they suggest if you're trekking, if you're making that trek, might take 6 days at an even more leisurely place. You can take 10 days to climb Kilimanjaro. The record, though, for someone going up and back, running without equipment, is 9 hours. So it's held by a local Tanzanian legend. Everything, Chris? All right, guys, out here supporting. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Okay. Asante, karibu. Let's go, guys. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, unforgettable. Exactly. That guy's got something left for the fans in the stands. He's cheering me on. He's definitely got a little energy left. I love it. He said Tanzania is unforgettable. He's telling the truth. But again, it's not about who's the fastest up and down from Kilimanjaro. Other distinctions are the oldest person to climb Kilimanjaro is held by an 89-year-old woman. An 89-year-old woman is the oldest person to climb Kilimanjaro. The youngest person to climb Kilimanjaro was 6 years old. A couple boys and girls at independent attempts climbed to the top of Kilimanjaro, 19,336 feet at age 6. When you do something that early in life, when you have an accomplishment that early in life, you have to think it's all downhill from there. Just kidding, dad joke, get it? It's all downhill from there. Okay, forget I said that. All right, I need to drink this time. I'm a little bit thirsty. Oh, watermelon. I never do this, but they have some soda over there. I need a little caffeinated pick-me-up. I'm not embarrassed by how good that cola tasted.
5.7.
If you're seeing all these cups littering the road and you all this littering, immediately upon conclusion of the race, as the last runners making their way to the finish line, hordes of volunteers will come out here with rakes, and this will be cleaned up within 15 minutes. All these water stations will be back to their immaculate rural setting where these folks live, so don't worry about the trash left on the course. They're going to be picked up in judicious fashion at the conclusion of the race. Okay, brother, Hakuna Matata. All right, just like that, took our little water break, a little bit of a caffeine break. Sometimes in ultra marathons, the elites go for the cola. I mean, when you're talking about some of these epic races that might be 100 kilometers or 100 miles, when you get later in the race and you've been running for hours, you need that caffeine, you need that sugar hit just to keep the body revved up and going. Obviously, at races of that distance, of races of that duration, you have to have a whole different fueling strategy. You definitely need to have regular intakes of carbohydrates, sugars, and all that kind of stuff to keep going. But no matter how technical your nutrition plan can be, a lot of times, whether you're an elite or someone making your way in the more middle of the pack, you're gonna reach for that carbonated cola just to keep going. So I'm not too embarrassed to have done that. There's a woman in my running group, Black Roses NYC back in Brooklyn. She runs 100-mile races a couple times a year. And her favorite thing to pack for later in the race, she makes mayonnaise and potato chip sandwiches on white bread, like several. She'll come into mile 70, mile 80, and what her body wants at that point is mayonnaise, potato chips on 2 pieces of the white bread. You don't really know what the body's gonna want later in life. I mean, you don't really want to know what the body is gonna want later on in the race of an ultra distance. So luckily we don't have that challenge. We're out here moving along through the Kilimanjaro half marathon. It's 13.1 miles. And we're breaking it up in terms of minutes on the clock. So far, the laps we've been moving for 1 hour and 40 minutes all told. Also, once that sun comes up in a race, you can really feel, especially in a longer race, a marathon, you can feel that sun really beat down on you that way. So you a lot of times want to seek out that shade, because even just a few minutes of running in the shadows is going to be a little bit of a refreshment. So now I'm kind of turning over to the left side of the roadway as a sign that the sun is kind of coming across that way. One of the interesting things about equatorial Africa is that there's only, over the course of the year, 365 days of the year, there's only 60 seconds of difference from the longest to the shortest day. So when that sun comes up, it's up and it's pretty warm. So I'm definitely always on the lookout, staying aware for looking for those little opportunities to run in the shade for a little bit of revitalization. Hey, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? You all good? Thank you for being out here. We're having a great time today. Let's keep it going. And we're just moving on here. was feeling good actually. Pace is settling in. When you've done the work, when you've made the preparations, you can really go with that confidence, that Hakuna Matata energy. Don't worry, be happy. No stress, no strain. No cause for concern or consternation, because we've done the work. We have that confidence that we're able to keep on going and flowing at this pace. So we're able to keep clocking off these minutes,
40 minutes to go.
even though the challenge continued. I told you that it got cooler around the halfway point for the race. As we got up into that dense wood section, gained a little bit of elevation, so the climb was tough, but the weather was getting cooler. Now, as this gradual downhill levels out, we're running on a flat. We're coming back into town, getting closer to the finish, and that weather is getting a little bit warmer as that equatorial sun rises higher in the sky. In Swahili, it's referred to as jua kali. So sometimes when that African sun is beating down pretty hot, folks will just kind of wipe their brow and say, "Whew, jua kali." And that's what we're dealing with right now. That warm sun is heating up its course. When we were there in that dawn light at the starting line, temperature was 67 degrees, 68 degrees. So it's always tricky when I say sometimes what can go wrong will go wrong. I don't mean that in a negative sense, but the will to prepare includes thinking about everything. 67 degrees might feel like perfect weather at the start of a race, but you got to think ahead to how warm it's going to be later on. That's why it's important to hydrate early. It's important to have that informed approach to this first start of the race, because you don't want to feel so overconfident that you're running down the road, and then once you get under this equatorial sun, it starts to wither in that heat, in that direct sun. You want to make sure that you're anticipating it. The body's hydrating, so you have enough fluids in our system and enough electrolytes to keep us going. No cramping, we're able to just keep flowing because we hydrated. Like I say, preparation couldn't just simply be about workouts. Everybody's got workouts. It's the insight in the workouts. It's the grounding of the workouts that keep it going. Okay, guys. Hey. And there's another runner in the race, in the marathon. Okay, let's see where we're at. Good job. Staying focused in this moment. The other thing about running a longer race together in this way that we are, is that it's a great opportunity to really bring that mental aspect into the game. Of course, that mental aspect is crucial at the starting line. You don't want to get it started too fast. You don't want to get overexcited and burn out all your energy in the beginning. But it's also crucial to bring that in when it's getting a little more challenging as the race continues. So in a moment like this, totally grounded. We're totally running with a quiet confidence, like a Hakuna Matata energy. Still finding our bubbles, because even though the race is thinned out and there's many more pockets, we want to make sure that we're continuing to run our own race. We don't want to really get lulled into anyone else's pace. We don't want to get too focused on what anyone else is doing. I remember my first race, my first marathon. I thought I had prepared, I had done a lot, what I thought I had checked all the boxes to run a certain time that I thought I was prepared for. And I was prepared for the first half of the race. So I fly through the first half of the race. I'm running out of my mind. I checked my watch. Yeah, every time. And I'm flying through the first half of the race. And I'm running with this French guy. It says France on his jersey. You cross over this bridge, it's the New York City Marathon. You cross over the halfway mark. And all of a sudden, the guy I'm running with starts walking. Out of nowhere. Mile 14, halfway through the race, the guy starts walking. And I was so tapped into what he was doing that in an instant, I lost all my concentration. I said, that looks really good. I'm gonna try that, just for a little bit. And I started walking. And I ended up walking and jogging for the entire second half of the race. It was really one of the tougher marathons I've ever finished. Big education for my first one, not only about the will to win, but also the preparations that I needed. But I also needed to run my own race. I needed to have my own full portfolio of preparations on the day. You can't show up for a marathon thinking you're just gonna do it with a wing and a prayer. You need to show up knowing what you're gonna do. That's the thing about preparations. And when you have it inside, I explained to you on our Foundations of Running journey there in South Africa, there in Kenya. When you have it inside, it's not about the watch, it's not about the weather, it's not about any other competitor in the race. Once you unlock that speed and endurance for yourself, once you unlock that RPE6 for yourself, you have it inside like that metronome that I'm always talking about. And that's why we're able to say, rockin', what's up guys? You jumping in? You ready? Let's go. Next year. You're able to just tap right in and run at this RPE6. Sure, faster and stronger for longer in a way that perhaps you didn't think possible when you started out on the journey, but we're able to keep that going. Okay. Let's keep it up. This RPE6. When I say this is an opportunity for us to bring that mental game in, there's still lots of running left in this race. There's still lots to go. So just in the same way you wouldn't get overconfident this early on with this much to travel in the race. Nevertheless, if you're having a tough day, if your shoelace kept coming untied or you weren't feeling your best, you don't need to panic because you still have plenty of running left to do in this race and it's going to even itself out. So the main idea at this point is to keep that quiet confidence going. Now you're doing great, so let's keep it. Let's keep this going. Great job. And we're doing well. Let's just hold this, don't need to change anything. Bunch of different things are gonna happen as we're looking ahead to the next segment as we approach the finish line. Some folks are gonna have realized they've given it their all perhaps too early, and they're gonna be walking it on in. And other folks are gonna smell that finish line and get more motivated to run fast. We're gonna maintain that energy through the finish line in a real steady fashion. So we're about to prepare for that. We're gonna hold this pace. You're doing great. Good job. Good rhythm. Don't need to change a thing.
Right. 30 minutes.
Seems like a good group as any. Let's go. Good job. I'm not opposed to a little music to make the miles go on a little smoother. We're in the final miles of this 13.1 mile distance. I'm not giving you a high five just yet. No premature celebrations. You know, you always see that footage of someone who's celebrating a race too early at the finish line, and then the other person just sees an opportunity for a win and sprints past them and throws themselves past the line. So we don't want to cheer too early. You don't want to raise your hands up in victory and cross the tape too early, because that's when someone comes from behind and ducks ahead of you. So we're going to milk these last 2 miles. We're going to stay on our pace. We're going to run on RPE 6 all that distance. Let's just do a quick body scan and check in. Our eyes are pointed straight ahead at the destination.
I was running at 5.9 for a while.
Head upright, our shoulders are squaring back.
5.7 now.
We're shaking off any fatigue that might have accumulated in our upper body over the course of this amazing run together.
I am really tired.
Shaking out those arms, and let's shake out those hands, shake out those arms. Even sometimes after a long race, under Joel Khalid's African sun, that little dehydration doesn't always come to form like a muscle cramp in the leg. Our hands might cramp up a little from dehydration. So you really want to make sure the circulation's there. We're going to shake the arms out and just keep moving along here. At our RPE 6, we can get right in that zone. We're just going to keep on going. Our shoulders are squaring back. Our arms are swinging in rhythmic fashion at the side of our body. Our arms are crooked at a 90-degree angle. And we're getting that good rhythm. The work that's going on in the upper body, that rhythm setting, is really giving us that good knee lift. And the good knee lift is giving us that crucial mid-foot strike that has us moving down the road to our destination in fine fashion. We're looking good. And we're moving along with that quiet confidence that we know to be the feeling of RPE 6. Now, at this stage of the journey, this stage of the race, we're not thinking about pace, we're not thinking about numbers, we're not thinking about anything. We're really just running with a quiet confidence and resting in the feeling of what the experience of this race is like. I can get a ride? No, I need to get a ride. I'm getting get on. No free rides. We're doing this on our own 2 feet. Let's finish this race in a fine fashion. Good job. No need to pick up the pace. We're just going to keep on flowing along in our way. It's great. So a couple things happen now in the final stages of the race. Some folks are going to slow all the way down, recognizing that their early excitement and their beginning stages of the half marathon perhaps burned up a little bit too much energy, and they have nothing left when it comes time to make it to the finish line. On the other hand, other folks might smell that finish line right around the corner and find that extra gear and start really bringing it home a little bit early. We're not going to do either. We're going to stay with this steady RPE6 flow and bring it all the way in. Because we're doing well, we've been doing a great job, so why change a thing? Let's keep it going. But, you know, you gotta keep the mind tough at this stage. Even the bananas are looking good. I might just go and just get a whole bunch of bananas. I'm gonna wait to the finish. Gotta stay focused. I gotta stay focused. I allowed myself one indiscretion. I had one, maybe 2 cups of a carbonated, caffeinated beverage just to keep me going and keep my mind a little alert. But that's enough special treats. We're staying focused and we're really looking for all the refreshments on offer at the finish line and the after party. Sometimes, honestly, that's how I know I'm distracted and I need to work on my mental game. Sometimes when I'm out there on a long run, out there in the country, when I'm training on my own, or when I'm training with a small group of friends, and I start thinking about
25
where we're
minutes
gonna go
left.
for breakfast after the run, or I start thinking about pancakes, I know that my mind is really unfocused. If I'm really running hard out there and running up and down these mountains and everything's going well, and I start thinking about pancakes, but I still have a long ways to go in terms of my mental preparation. So the same is here today. I'm already talking about what's gonna happen after the finish line, what the after party is gonna be like. Let's stay focused on this experience right here. Let's stay focused on this moment. And keep rocking at this RPE6. We just gotta turn this corner and start bringing it on in. It's going so well, so we want to keep it going. This is awesome. Just on time. I needed a little bit of hydration. This is another thing that happens a lot of times out in Africa, like if you're starting to get a cramp, you'll run into the aid station and just say, ice, ice. This is kind of like an aerosol thing. You can see, watch. Ah.
I
That sounds
finished
it.
1 bottle.
I gotta be honest, because I'm always honest with you. That doesn't do anything.
Oh, I am so tired. Woo. 20. Minutes to go.
You can
5.7.
keep going. A little more carbonation. Running a race has you acting all sorts of ways that you can't do in your regular life. Like, as soon as you drink your water, I always slam my cup down to the ground, like it's a big gesture, just like we just passed the guy who's spitting water out of his mouth. Stuff you wouldn't do in your normal life, like wear an all green outfit with really short shorts. So too, on race day, you're out here, and I'll go through, and I'll grab some water, and I'll slam it down on the ground like I'm making a statement with my cup of water. Let's keep going. RPE6. And as you can see, this race started, this half marathon started just after dawn here in Kilimanjaro, the foothills of Kilimanjaro in the town of Moshi, just after dawn. And it's true, we've been taking our time, running for a couple hours, but it's not so early in the morning. But I want to show you what I'm talking about, Joao Kali. But look at this. we're under this sun. I mean, it's still early in the morning. Folks who went out and partied last night are still sleeping in. But look how high the sun is in the sky. Like, it's very early in the morning and already that sun is out. It feels like maybe the middle of the day somewhere else in the world. So it's really great that we're had a great hydration. If you remember, we started with our own bottle of water at the beginning of the race to stay hydrated. And now we're finishing up really fully full of fluid and feeling good. And it's okay to finish first on empty. It's okay and it's commendable to give it everything you got. But you don't want to be so devastated at the end of a race or a workout that you need some attention or some little medical assistance. You really want to be able to just keep the race to be what it is, and that's more than anything, it can be a celebration of the journey. Like, we're about to see all these thousands of people who were in the marathon and in our own race, the half marathon. Everybody has been united towards the same purpose. There are different finishing times, and there are different goals and motivations. And, you know, just as the same way that there's different footwear here, and everyone's got, or a lot of folks have gone in different outfits. There's some guys out here who are out there in an all green outfit with really short shorts on, you know? But we're all heading in the same direction. We're all unified with the same sense of purpose. The Swahili word for purpose is nia, N-I-A, nia. And when you're really thinking about this half marathon and what the special experience is, of course, we get to come out here and put a finishing note on our fitness journey. We get to celebrate all these incredible, beautiful faces out here. We get to, let me show you what I'm talking about. We get to turn around and see this view of Kilimanjaro during the course of this race. It's amazing. So yeah, it's awesome. But we're all kind of united in the same purpose of getting over that finish line. And really, that getting over the finish line, it's a celebration. So when everybody crosses that line, there's just going to be this mass spirit of accomplishment, of achievement, of unlock. There's going to be this mass ecstasy of all these folks finishing together. Sure, there might have been some excitement along the way, this person or that person cheering or having a good time. There might be this person, that person cheering, having a good time, but really now we're able to see this finish. Kaza, okay. You can see some of the faster half marathons having finished now. They're doing their cool downs. We don't want to miss out on the mass celebration that the finish line represents and is holding out for us in just a few more minutes. So we're going to keep on going at this pace. Keep this going. Even from this far away, you can hear the roar of the crowd. And if ever you get to the end of a long race, this is kind of the beats that happen, the moments that happen where you can almost feel like the cheer of the crowd is pulling you on into the finish line. So if you're a little bit lacking in energy, pretty soon you're going to hear the roar of the crowd, and that anticipation, that excitement's going to pull us to the finish. Doing great so far. We're going to keep this flow going. This is RPE 6, and more than a time, it's a feeling. This is that quiet confidence for us to have gone down the road together for this Kilimanjaro half marathon. Really one of the most unforgettable races I've ever been a part of. The mix of all the incredible competitors and spectators, but then these constant views of Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak and the tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
It's stuck again.
All under this increasingly warm equatorial African sun, Jua Kali, that's what they call it here. Yeah, right, Jua Kali, right? Yeah, when it's bearing down on us like that, feeling it. And so let's keep going all the way to this finish line, man. It's just a few paces away, but it sometimes feels like we won't get here soon enough. It will. Just gonna keep on going. There's this little hill that we just went up, gives way to this long downhill thoroughfare with this tree-lined street. You can shake that off, shake that upper body out, and really just let that stride open up, and really let that fitness take over. When Kilimanjaro won the 1989 New York City Marathon, coming from Tanzania all the way to take first place at the most glamorous, epic, most competitive marathon in the world. He said, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare. The will to win is nothing without the will to prepare. And what he's talking about is fitness. And this is the kind of finishing that you feel that fitness take over when that stride opens up, and you can kind of just see that the body is just running on its own on cruise control. We can just ride this feeling all the way to the finish line. So let's just do that very thing. This is great. The great thing about training the way we do on this iFIT journey together is we're able to work out in minutes instead of working out in terms of miles. When you work out in minutes, your body understands on a lot of different levels, mainly awareness, the passage of time and how our own bodies move through that, right? So by the same hand, we're able to just keep going with this quiet confidence and know that we're going to run for this amount of time. And so really, rather than worried about this mile marker, this kilometer marker, we know that we've done the preparations to train at this pace, to train to stay grounded in this place. So we're going to keep on going like that. You all right? Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep flowing. We're just on the finish line, taking off, getting that energy. We're going to just keep this pace steady for a little ways to go. All right, here we go. And when I'm talking about fitness, I'm talking about the ways in which we're able to open up and just run as this race brings it in. We're able to keep going and just feeling that stride open up, but we're still maintaining that rhythm. We're still keeping that pace going. We don't have to change a thing. We just need to keep doing the work that we've prepared for this whole time. It's going awesome. We're gonna keep on doing that. Not change the thing. We don't have to go into sprint mode. We don't get overexcited. Just as the same way that we prepared well, and we're walking it in with a strong stride. Thank you, thank you. With a strong stride, we're gonna keep on going. At this pace, let's keep going for another little bit here. It's going well. Here we go. Unforgettable. We could be forgiven for really soaking it all in now in the last few minutes of this race. When are we ever going to get a chance to just run an entire half marathon together with constant views of Kilimanjaro there over our shoulder? So we really want to soak up this feeling. We really want this feeling to last. I'll always remember running this breakthrough performance I had on my own in a marathon a couple years back in Berlin. Even though my legs were tying out there in the end, I was tired. I really had this feeling inside that I didn't want the moment to end. I really was doing everything I could do. Of course, to finish as fast as I could, even though I was hurting. But at the same time, I was trying to soak in all the energy because I knew it was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and that's kind of the feeling I have running this half marathon here with you here in Moshi, Tanzania. Like this unforgettable Kilimanjaro half marathon. As we bring it down to these last few minutes, we want to soak up all this energy, soak up all these best practices. Okay. Starting to feel goosebumps. I can start to feel goosebumps on my shoulder knowing that the finish line is here. Don't get too excited. Don't leave me in the sprint. Let's just finish together. Remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We've run a pretty far distance together today, so let's finish it up together. This is awesome. So let's keep this pace, RPE 6, as we navigate. Some folks are walking in. We don't need to do that because we've prepared. So we're just going to keep this steady. RPE 6. Yeah, every time. Thanks for being out here. Okay. Yeah, guys. Yes. Yeah, good to see you, Steve. How's it going? Is it a good race? All right, let's finish strong. Finish strong, everybody. This is what I was telling you about from the very beginning of the race. We're going to see the same folks because this is our fitness, so these are our people. As we're coming up to this finish, we got a little incline. Another little email to the race directors. Thanks for putting this little uphill right now at the end when we need to be bringing it on in. It's coming as a little shock to the system, but let's just keep it on going on in. Okay, what's happening to that Kilimanjaro energy right now, my man? Yeah, bringing it on in. This is great. Dra Kali. We got this. It's incredible. Every time we're still going to get stopped. We look up, see that mountain, bring it on in. Still feeling good. Still thinking about my dad's words. Something for the fans in the stands. You can hear the pulse of the announcer at the finish line. You can see the happy faces of folks who finished a couple minutes ahead of us, already proudly rocking their finisher's medal. I want to go get that finisher's medal. I got to stay focused in this moment because the finisher's medal is right up there. It's waiting for us. One has my name on it, one has your name on it. So let's go get this finisher's medal. We got this. Stay focused. That's the eyes on the prize. And we got to give it up for the fans in the stands. But first, we got to get there. First, we got to cross this finish line. To do that, we're going to stay in our zone, stay in our focus, stay in this flow. This is RPE 6. Let's keep it going. Almost there, you can kind of feel the finish line energy pulling us on. Just keep that pace. We don't need to change a thing. We just need to keep on moving at this very Hakuna Matata pace. Just arm swinging, still getting that good knee, bringing it on in for the last few minutes of this race as we soak it up. Let's not change a thing. Just stay right on my shoulder, right there, and we're gonna finish this race together. Just the same way we started. So let's keep going. We got a guy up here repping his culture, full Maasai dress. How you feeling, my man? You ready? Yeah. Let's do this, yo. We gotta go. We gotta go to the finish line. You good? You look good. You look good. You know? Now we're just saying, let's go, yo. Let's do this. Other folks is giving us energy. We're getting great energy. Let's go. Let's finish together. He wants to finish together. Let's finish together. Okay. This is how we do it. We're coming up at our finish. Before we go in the stadium, right, bro? Now for this special surprise. My bandana is doubling as a little thank you to our hosts. Woo-hoo-hoo! We're gonna finish this thing. Yeah. Yeah, let's interview. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, we run together and do an interview? Let's do it. Okay.
I slow down, I can't. I already did 13.1. Oh.
Check one, take two. This is Knox Robinson representing New York City all the way to Kilimanjaro half marathon. It's your brother from another. Thank you very much for having me out here. 93.7. It's a little piece of heaven right here in Kilimanjaro. I'll see you at 11. Peace. No, I love it. I wouldn't be here without the beauty of the Tanzanian people. So thank you for hosting me and thank you for showing me your incredible country. I love you very much. I'm gonna see you at the finish line. Let's go to the party. All right, shout out DJ. Hey, let's go. Okay, let's get ready to finish this race. We're gonna come on in here for another few minutes. The will to win is nothing without the will to celebrate the journey. And that's what we're gonna do. This was an awesome finish. We're cruising on down to this downhill section. The body's open, the legs are open. We're feeling good. And we're about to go into finish at this incredible stadium finish. When you go to the Olympic marathons throughout the course of the 20th century, the Olympiads that we've had here in the 21st century, so many times they finish inside a stadium. Comrades Marathon finishes inside a stadium right there in Durban. There's nothing like going through a challenge, meeting that challenge, and then turning the corner and entering the stadium, hearing the roar of the crowd, the loudspeaker, all that excitement. So let's do it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, let's do this. Masai, let's go outside. Let's go. We're going to turn this corner. We're going to go into the stadium, and then it's going to be us, my G. Let's go. Okay, you ready, sis? Let's go, sis. You're looking good. Woo! Here it is. We're here. The final moments. We get on this track. We're about ready to go in front of the bandstands. It doesn't matter if you're at the New York City Marathon. It doesn't matter if you're finishing the Olympic marathon. When you're talking about something for the fans in the stands, this is what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the fans in the stands. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's hear it. I can't hear you. Let's make some noise. Woo! Let's hear it. Asante sana.
Oh my God.
Woo! Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. TZ #1 in our hearts. Woo! Asante sana. Yes, Rasa, yes. Yes, 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 yes. This is what I'm talking about. It's not just so much about the workouts. It's not just about the will to win. When we say the will to prepare, that means we're preparing for the celebration of the journey. When you turn the corner and you enter the stadium, it doesn't matter if you're entering a stadium and you're finishing an
did
Olympic
half a marathon.
or if you're here in the Kilimanjaro half marathon.
Little more.
The finish line is the celebration
Oh my
of the
God.
journey that we went on together. So thank you very much for joining me.
Oh,
This is my celebration of this journey, and this is yours. I couldn't be more proud. You've done well. Look at that. I'm Knox Robinson. I'm your iFIT trainer. This is the Kilimanjaro Half Marathon. I couldn't be more proud. I'll see you for the next adventure.
What do I want to do? Why does it stuck now on this? Stop. Okay. It was a tough one. There was a lot of incline. I didn't run on the incline. However, I did run down hill, whatever he was running. It was tough. So here's my numbers are. So it's 226, 13.4 miles, 15. That was really good. Look at that. You have completed the series Kilimanjaro half marathon. That was, I guess I did something before. So it's a 13.4 or 23.3 kilometers. I'm really tired. Really tired. This was tough. I want to give up so much. But because treadmill keep moving, so you just have to keep running. Oh, that was tough, and it's a half. Okay, we have to train.